like children sleeping, we could dream this night away. But there's a full moon rising, let's go dancing in the light. We know where the music's playing, let's go out and feel the night. Because I'm still in love with you, I want to see you dance again. Because I'm still in love with you on this harvest moon. Hey, Drue James here from LearnGuitarInLondon.com. I hope you're having a great day, and I am playing an acoustic classic today, Harvest Moon by Neil Young, probably one of the most romantic, awesome acoustic songs of all time. And I've had a bit of a journey with this song. It's been in my life since I started teaching. Didn't have a clue how to do it when I first started, and as the years have gone on, I keep returning to it, and occasionally I'm a little lazy. I'll go to Ultimate Guitar, as I'm sure some of you guys do. I'll look up sort of guitar pros and tabs to it, and they've never really satisfied me. So I've created my own guitar pro and my own tab for this based on just the one guitar. This is Neil Young playing it just by himself, and rather than the band version, okay? So you can get the tab to this completely for free at the student area of my website. Just takes a name and email address to join. I've left a link in the video, and there's a link in the video description to do that. We're gonna get started on it. One thing just before we get started is you need to take your thickest string and you need to down tune that down to D, okay? I'll show you in the lesson how to do that if you're not sure. Let's get started. So like I said, we need to, the tuning is not in standard tuning, okay? Now there's a few ways that you can do this. Probably the easiest way is to get a tuning app on your phone, just search Guitar Tuner in your app store of choice, and then load up that tuner, yet the microphone on your phone do the work. But whatever you do, you need to loosen the thickest string. So we need to loosen it so that it sounds the same as the D string. So we have to take this string down. So another method of doing it, you can use it on your tuner. Just make sure that your tuner, it's obviously in the middle for most tuners, and it is saying D when you're playing the thickest string, not D with a dot next to it or D with a hash symbol next to it, because that would be tuning it to D sharp, and I've seen many students make that error. No, we need to go lower so that it says D with nothing beside it, okay? So make sure you're doing that on your tuner. Another way that you can do it as well, which I'm gonna do today, is if you play the open D string, Eddie 8 Dynamite, third string down, and then play the thickest string and start loosening it until they start to sound the same and in unison. And that's another way to do it. And finally, another way to do it is you can fret 7 and have these two notes sounding the same because they are both in A. Okay, so right, so then we're good to go. Okay, moving on, we'll have a look at the riff. Okay, so this iconic riff is the thing that's going to really be just instantly recognizable for people. Now I have put the tab on screen while we're doing this, all right, so it makes it a little bit easier for you to see, but we're all the way up here on fret 10 on the B string and fret 11 on the G string. And we're going to use our middle and ring finger to perform this function. The reason that we're not using the index and middle is because we're also going to need 9 on the thinnest string for part of that riff, and we're also going to need our pinky finger to play fret 12 on the B string throughout that riff as well. So the absolute genius of the writing within this is that he thought to use those fingers and then mess about with those notes. You know, it's just so lovely. Really, really clever. So we're starting, couldn't be easier to start. And by the way, I like to use a plectrum for this. I'm pretty certain Neil Young's using a plectrum and not his fingers. I find the plectrum is really nice to cut through on the thinnest strings in the riff. With fingers, it doesn't sound too bad. And it is a little more mellow using the tip of the index finger, but it just doesn't have that brightness cut that I think works really nicely for this song. So thickest string, and then you're going to strum the bottom 4 strings with your 10 and your 11 fretted out. So bass, or the thickest string, strum. Then you're going to do a down, so as soon as you've done that, you're going to place the little pinky finger down on fret 12 on the B string. Okay, so we've still got the middle finger on the B string, but we're going to replace that note with our little finger, as you can see that I'm doing there, right? There's no need to lift up the middle finger because we're going to be returning to that. So we go bass, 10, 12, 12, 12, okay? So we're going down, down, up, down on the 12 and 11, okay? So bass, 10, 12, 12, 12, and finally, as we go to do an up strum, we're going to lift up the pinky and go back to the 10. Bass, 10, 12, 12, 12, 10. That's the first half, again. So accuracy is important in this riff. You want to just be playing the D, G, B and E string, the bottom 4 strings of the riff. If you start strumming everything, it doesn't sound awful, but it doesn't sound refined. So do make sure that you're used to doing little strums, relaxing that hand and aiming for accuracy as you're playing this. So we've got the first bar of this riff. Okay. Good, now the next part. We're going to, first of all, put our index finger that's spare down on the thinnest string that has previously been a 0 and turn that into a 9. We're going to leave the middle on the 10 and the ring on the 11. And we're going to play the bass and work on this rhythm pattern that I'll play you very slowly. So we go bass, up, down, miss, up, down, up. Bass, up, down, miss, up, down, up. Bass, up, down, miss, up, down. And we don't do any messing about with the chord like we did in the first bar of the riff, all right? So we just keep that 9, 10 and the 11 held down as we do that. Good, okay, so you've got it. That's bar 2. All that happens in this iconic riff is it just repeats bar 1 and 2, round and round in a circle. So we've got bass, 10, 12, 12, 12, 10, bass, 9. Rhythm is down, 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 up, bass, up, down, up, miss, up, down, up. Okay, well done if you got that far. Great little riff. I'm sure you'll be playing it forever because I certainly have been, and it's lovely, isn't it? It's just really, really pretty. And the good thing is we don't really sing over that for you singing players. We only sing over chords, I suppose mostly open chords throughout it. So it makes it really nice when we move from going from the strumming into the riff, and it creates a lovely back and forth between the voice and the guitar, which is really nice for melody. So moving into the E minor. Now it's not an E minor as we know it, okay? Because of the fact that the thickest string is tuned down, with our E minor, we're actually making an A shape, okay? So if you think of your A chord that I'm sure many of you know, if you just move that onto the E, A and D string. So that's fret 2 on the E, which is technically the D now, fret 2 on the A and fret 2 also on the D. And you strum all 6 strings for this, okay? So you've now got 4 bars of an E minor with a rhythm pattern that is nearly the same as bar 2 rhythm. So it's down, down, up, miss, up, down, up, down, down, up, miss, up, down. I call it the chill out pattern. It's an incredibly versatile pattern that's used all the time in acoustic guitar. Down, down, up, miss, up, down, up, down, down, up, miss, that is when the singing starts. Come a little bit closer. So you do it 4 times. Hear what I have to say. And on the word say, we've got another riff that we need to learn. I'm going to call this the D riff. I'm going to call the first riff the iconic riff, and this is the D riff, okay? Now the D riff, I think, is a little harder than the iconic riff, so bear with me with this. Once again, I've put the tab for this D riff on screen just to help you out with where it changes, because it changes in slightly funny syncopated places. And we've got this. Okay, so first of all, you're making a D chord for this. Hopefully most of you will know what a D is, and you can go to a D pretty quickly. If you can't, this probably isn't the lesson for you, so look at some of my more beginner lessons. But the D is fret 2 on the G string, fret 2 on the thinnest, and fret 3 on the B string. So that's the first chord. You're going to play the bass note, the thickest string, because that is tuned to D. And you're going to play that and then do a down, and then down, up, down. And then as you lift to do this next up, you're going to press down the bottom 3 strings, okay? Which is technically making something called a D major 7, but it's a little mini bar chord. That's what you need. You're actually going to be turning that into another chord very quickly, an F sharp minor 7 triad, but for now, just aim for that. Just so that you can learn where the change is, because the change is in a funny place. Bass, so it's bass, down, down, up, down, change on that up. Bass, down, down, up, down, up. There's your change there, okay? Then, with your ring finger, find fret 4 on the G string, keeping the index finger down here on fret 2 the whole time. You're going to play that 4 that you're fretting with the ring finger, and you're going to go bass, up, down, up. Up, down, up. So it's bass, up, down, and then as you move to this next up, you're going to bar the bottom 4 strings to make an A6. And that's up, up, down, up. Really slowly. So that second half of the bar, 4, up, down, up, up, down, up. And if you get it right, you'll have this nice movement like that. Okay, so the D riff goes round in a circle twice. Down, down, up, down, up, down. Good. We then go to another E minor. Just like children playing, making noise in the night. D riff. And again. Good. Okay. Now on the lyric, but there's a full moon rising, we're going to move to a G chord. Now it's not a G as you know it. It's going to be fret 5 on the thickest string, not fret 3. And for those of you who know a little bit about music theory, you will understand that because the string is tuned down, we have to go up 2 spaces on the musical alphabet to get to our G. And one thing you can do is you could just hold down fret 5 and play the open strings. We can call that a G. But another thing you can do to really make it more rich, more full-bodied, is you can put down fret 3 on the B string at the same time. Okay, so you get this, kind of like a C chord sort of thing. And we're going to do a full 4 bars of that with that same rhythm pattern. Down, down, up, up, down, up. So... There's a full moon rising. Then back to the riff. The iconic riff. And then finally into this next part, so I'm just going to make it so I can see my lyrics. This next part is the G again. We know the music's playing. Let's go out and feel the night. back to the iconic riff. And again. Good. Now we're into the chorus, which is the I'm Still in Love with You part. You can do your G again here. Now, I'm calling this a G, and then later on I'm going to talk to you about an alternative G that I'd like you to use to really make the song really rich. So you're going to do 2 bars of the G with that same rhythm pattern. Because I'm still in love with... And on the word you, you're going to change to an A7 suspended 4th. Don't worry, it's not half as difficult as it sounds. Fret 2 on the D string and fret 3 on the B string, like so. You're going to do 1 bar of that, strumming all 6 strings. And on the word C, you're going to change to an A7. So leave the index finger on fret 2 on the D, and instead of being on 3rd fret on the B, move it to the 2nd fret. So you're just doing that little change. And that's just 1 bar. So let's just summarize that. A little slower, G. Because I'm still in love, A7 suspended 4th, I want an A7. And then the next part, because I'm still in love with you, this time it's an E minor like we had earlier in the song. Again, 2 bars, cause I'm still in love with... Move to an A chord. So really easy change from here. Just move this shape down a set of strings. So you just got to move it down 2 sets of strings. You're on the 2nd fret on the D, G and B string. Strum all 6 strings for this chord as well, because that open D note sounds lovely, this thicker string. You, 2 bars. On this harvest moon. Back to the riff. So isn't that a slice of magic? Yeah, it's really, really lovely. I'll just summarize that chorus for you. 2 bars of G. Some G, G, A7, sus4, A7 to E minor, staying on E minor to A. On this harvest D riff. Okay, good. Well done so far. We've just got some crosses of T's and dots of I's just to finish off the rest of it, okay? Number 1 is what happens from there is you do the iconic riff 4 times and then you go round in a circle. So you do your verse again. It's written there on the tab what to do. It says repeat verse, repeat bridge and repeat chorus. And then once you've done that again, you're into the harmonica solo chords. So for those of you who might be, I don't know, having that harmonica around your neck, you know, which I always think is nuts that people can do that at the same time. I guess if you're doing that, you've also got a bass drum on your back and a tambourine on your head, right? I don't know how people do that, but good on them that they do. Anyway, when it gets to that section, we're going to do the G chord, but we're going to start to flesh that G chord out even further, right? And we're going to do it as a triad. So we're going to hold down fret 3 on the B and the E string and fret 4 on the G string. That gives us a lot of the triad. And then the ring and the pinky finger, we're going to hold down the bass notes for this, which is on fret 5 on the A and the D string. So it's quite the chord. And I'm calling this the G alternative on the tab. Okay, so this is where the harmonica comes in. I've got no idea what the melody of the harmonica is. Then back to the D riff. Then the G alternative again for 4 bars. And then to the iconic riff. Then you're into your chorus. Because I'm still... And you repeat the chorus, and on the very final time when you come back to the iconic riff, at the end of the chorus, you can finish on a D chord with all 6 strings, or if you want to be smug, you can do a mini bar on the bottom 3 strings and make a C-shaped bar chord. You can see what I'm doing here, and strum including the top string to get that alternative sound. And I'll be honest with you, you can get to that quickly. You're an absolute ledge, so good on you. But that also sounds really, really lovely to finish the song on, and a great workout for you more intermediate guitarists. I really hope you've enjoyed this. I've thoroughly enjoyed teaching this lesson. Keep on playing, and I'll see you again soon.